This is Jamie Drummond for Good Food Revolution. I'm here with Barbara Koller, who is joining us all the way from Kamptal, Austria. How are you today?
I'm fine. Hello, Jamie.
And good to see you again.
Yes, likewise.
After all these years.
It's been a while.
Now, for those people unfamiliar with your wines, would you mind telling us a little bit of history surrounding Schloss Gobelsburg?
With pleasure. Schloss Gobelsburg is a monastic estate, which means we have about 1,000 years of history. We belong to a Cistercian monastery. The monks have been running our estate since 1171, which means medieval ages, until 22 years ago by themselves. And they have been working in wine since 1171. So land was granted to them in the Middle Ages, and they planted vineyards on a cru, which is called Ried Heiligenstein today. And this cru is still a cru which we work on, one of our most famous and most well-known cru, the most historic cru in Kamptal as well.
Now you're here today to present a small seminar to some wine enthusiasts here in Toronto about some let's say some changes in let's, for lack of a better term, appellation system within Austria. Would you mind explaining a little about that?
Yes, of course. Michael Moosbrugger, who is running our estate now, he's running it since 1996 because the monks who have been running it until the 1990s, they were lacking the younger generation within the community in the 1990s. It wasn't very hip to become a monk anymore those days, so obviously they had to look for somebody else to run the estate. And Michael Moosbrugger, he was offered the estate in 1996 to take over. He's now running it in a long-term lease. And he's as well the chairman of our association, which is called the Austrian Traditional Wineries. In German, it's called Österreichische Traditionsweingüter, with the abbreviation of OTW. And within this association, we work very hard for vineyard classification, which is based on the Burgundy system. We started with classifying our vineyards and watching these vineyards in 1992, so it's been a long time that we work on this system. And in 2010, for the first time, we classified our erste Lagen, as we call it.
And saying that it's based upon the Burgundian system, this is you're looking at Grand Cru, Premier Cru and Village level wines. And how does that pertain to the wines that you produce at Schloss Gobelsburg?
Maybe I show it to you on a small map or on the Kamptal pyramid, as we call it. The Kamptal pyramid actually shows the three appellation levels of our vineyards or of our region. We do have, like in Burgundy, we have regional wines at the base, which are the Kamptal Grüner or the Kamptal Riesling.
Yes. In
those wines we want to show the region, the identity of the Kamptal, which is cool climate zone. Therefore we are having these fresh and fruity, crispy and often spicy white wines. One level up, there is the level of the village wines. The village wines of, for example, Langenlois Grüner Veltliner. We have the Langenlois Grüner Veltliner here to show you. So in these wines we want to show the identity of the village, where grapes are being picked around the village of Langenlois, which is our neighboring village to Gobelsburg. And on the very top you find the Crus, the single vineyard wines. And in German, Cru is called Rieden, or Ried in a singular version. So the Rieden wine, the single vineyard wines, these wines we have decided to classify since 2010, and the first Erste Lagen were classified then in 2010. So it took us a while until we decided which ones are considered to be the top crus of our region. These crus, they are called Erste Lagen, which corresponds to Premier Cru. And they represent the top 15% of all the vineyards within our whole area of the Danube area. And the Danube area, that's the region I'm talking about today, consists of 4 wine regions of the Kamptal, which is the region along the Kamp River. Kamp is the name of the river and Tal means valley, so the valley along the Kamp River. The second wine region of the Danube area is the Kremstal, which is the valley along the Krems River. There is another valley which is called the Traisental along the Traisen River, and also Wagram. So 4 wine regions making up the Danube area. And within this area, we're working together with 36 members, making up our association of the Austrian traditional wineries and working in that appellation system.
How did you go about assessing these particular cru vineyard sites? Because when these laws are put into place in various parts of the world, sometimes people say it's to do with politics, sometimes people say it's to do with all sorts of things. How did you come to these conclusions?
We work with the Austrian wine cataster, basically. So the vineyards originally have always been registered. And Michael, who is the chairman of our association, he's working hard in looking at these catasters. So all these vineyards, they have been looked up again, and we have supervisioned them. We've watched them for years. We have done blind tastings with the wines from those vineyards, and after 25 years, we've decided which vineyards have the highest potential, or also due to historical reasons.
Yes,
so it has to be both. It's on one hand historical sites, it's on the other hand it's a potential of these vineyards, and of course these vineyards, they have to show that continuously they bring out wines which are top quality.
And how has the public acceptance, or indeed the public's education regarding these particular new delimitations, how successful has that been thus far?
Of course, every time when you do something new or when you introduce something new to the public, it's always something what people try to. It's probably difficult.
Yes, yes, yeah.
And I do realize that I have to explain a lot, it's a lot of talking, but over all these years people accept this system, they try to understand, and they do understand. And for us, we are convinced that this is a system which is actually simplifying the way to introduce our vineyards to the public. Because how should a consumer at the very end understand why a bottle of a single vineyard wine, Myriad Lamb, for example, costs 5 times as much as a regional wine?
I agree with you there, because having followed Austrian wines for a couple of decades now, these designations make complete sense to me because I knew the vineyard sites before. But to someone less familiar with the kind of Austrian wine map, I think these will be a great aid, most definitely. So when it comes to your house, Schloss Gobelsburg, how does one identify these 3 different levels of wine on the labels?
So with us, with our Schloss Gobelsburg lines, we focus on the origin of the wine. Within the Austrian traditional wineries, we want to show origin of the wine. So for the regional wine, we have the Kamptal Grüner Veltliner here in bigger letters. So this indicates that this is a regional wine coming from Kamptal, showing identity of our cool climate zone. With the village level, we have the name of the village on the labels, which is, for this example, Langenlois Grüner Veltliner, for the village of Langenlois. And for the single vineyard wines, for the crus, you find the indication, the term of Ried, in front of the name of the vineyard. So Ried is the legal term for a registered cru within the Austrian wine cataster. You can be sure that this is a registered cru. It's not a fake name or a brand name of a vineyard, but it's a registered cru. And the sign 1 OTW next to the name of the vineyard, and you also find this symbol here in the capsule, indicates that this cru is classified as an Erste Lage, a premier cru.
I'm just going to try and get in a bit closer there so people can see that. So that's 1 and then...
OTW, right, that's the abbreviation.
Okay. All right, and then you're also looking to put in further designations.
Yes.
This is something for the future, I guess.
Our appellation is not finished yet. So far we have been classifying only up to Erste Lage level. When we come back here to this pyramid, we have classified Erste Lagen in 2010 for the first time, and the next step will bring us to Große Lagen, Grand Cru level.
To the absolute pinnacle.
Exactly. But these crus have not been decided or they have not been designated yet. So we still work on with blind tastings to find out which crus out of these 61 erste Lagen, which have been classified so far, will be upvalued or upgraded into große Lage level. And this will take us probably another 5 to 10 years. So
Interesting.
it will
Right.
still take some more time. There is no rush. We don't need to rush through.
Well, you've been making wine for centuries and selling it anyway.
Hopefully.
So it's
Still long enough. And if you compare it to Burgundy system, it took them 40 years
Right.
to finish their appellation. With us, we are about 3/3 on our way, so we still have time.
And so your long-term ambitions for this project are to expand this out with the Kamptal region.
Since we in Schloss Gobelsburg are working on a sustainable way, we also want the system to be sustainable. And the big vision, of course, is to get everybody in our boat. We don't see ourselves as an association of elitism. We are an association of value.
Right, yeah.
And we want to have everybody in our boat joining us because the big vision at the very end, and still this takes a long time, we are sure about that, but the vision is to get an overall harmonized system within the German-speaking wine regions to make it more easily to understand for the consumer what wine he actually picks when he grabs a bottle out of the shelf. So there are very good talks going on with the VDP in Germany, with other regions in Austria. We work very hard together with the VDP, and the big achievement which actually has been achieved last year already is that the region of Vienna joined us with the Austrian traditional wineries, and also the region of Carnuntum. So everything started here in the Danube area in the 1990s, but last year, 2018, Vienna and Carnuntum joined us, so we are
So it's a gradual process.
Yes, of course, it takes time.
Yes. And if people want to find out a little bit more about all of these new rulings, where would be the best place for them to look?
You can look it up with the Austrian traditional wineries on their website.
Okay.
Of course, on our website of Schloss Gobelsburg, we have everything with all the links. You will find it. You can also find it on the Austrian Wine Marketing Board, where you specifically find the DAC regions described. But for all the classification of Erste Lage, you will find all the details on the page of Austrian traditional wineries.
Well, thank you very much for explaining exactly what's going on in Austria right now, and thank you for spending some time with Good Food Revolution today.
Thank you for inviting me and having me here. It's a pleasure to be in Toronto again.
Super. Bye for now.
Thank you.